For sure. It's a lot of the things that Liam was around as well, whether it be at Kentucky or his history with the Rams. But no, we're aligned in that on the utilization of motions and shifts to manipulate defenses, attack space. So a lot of that stuff you'll see here as well.
Right. What's the advantage at times to dictate maybe what the defense, what the personnel is, or what they're doing?
Yeah. When you have the three receivers on the field, you of course now have the ability to motion even more just because there is more speed. So obviously that's the main difference in versus having two receiver sets. Doesn't mean you can't motion the back or the tight end to try to manipulate defenses, but you can get a little more creative formationally with three receiver just because you don't know exactly where they're going to be versus tight ends and backs being more in the core of the formation.
At the snap, can you just speak to the advantages of doing that in particular?
Yeah, we're looking to apply pressure on the defense, and when you have somebody in motion at the snap, it makes them communicate what are their checks, they're pressuring, how are they going to handle the motion, not knowing who it's going to come from. So when we try to apply the pressure to them by being in motion, we're just creating advantages for ourselves. There's also ways to manipulate defenses to find voids and zones through the use of motion. So that's definitely something that we believe in.
Hello, Bucs fans. Welcome back to Real Bucs Talk. It's been a crazy last 24 hours for this team. As you see the tweet there, the Buccaneers are moving on from Liam Coen as he is taking the Jaguars head coaching position. They are looking for their next offensive coordinator, the fourth offensive coordinator in the last 4 years, which is crazy to think about. But in today's video, I just want to go over some candidates. Obviously, you heard from Josh Gizzard there. He's on the Buccaneers staff currently. He's their passing game coordinator. And I think it'll be interesting to see if he is one of the lead candidates. I know a lot of talk has been about him as potentially being the next guy in line. So we'll get into that. But as you see there, the tweet, and then also it's been confirmed the Buccaneers will be looking for their fourth OC in 4 years. But yeah, I mean, Josh Gizzard, again, pass game coordinator, has a background with Miami. So he has some experience, and he, learned from Coach McDaniels. He has a good idea of what this offense is about. Understanding motion. Those are things he talked about, and using ways to attack matchups and attack space. So I think that's important. Again, he's very young. I think he's only 34 years old. So I think he would fit well, relate with the players. The only thing you have to worry about is, again, he would be new to play calling. It would be new to him as far as just being ahead of the whole staff. So definitely you worry about his inexperience, but he has been around the NFL for over 7 years, or well, no, actually he's got over 12 years of coaching. So, I mean, we'll just have to, see if he is going to be one of the lead candidates, but I fully expect him to get an interview from Tampa Bay. So keep his name on the radar for sure. And I think he would be interesting to just see what kind of ideas he has to bring to the offense, but also a guy that can keep the scheme that the Buccaneers used last year very similar and keep it to where there's not a lot of new information being, shared or with the players, and there's not much confusion. Next guy internally, I think they can look at is Thad Lewis. Again, he's been with the team for a while now. He's the quarterback's coach. Had a lot of input as far as the offense goes last year. So I think he would be a good tie-in with Baker Mayfield, obviously keeping continuity there. He could also bring some new ideas. He has background from Bruce Arians' offense as well. So there's background, former quarterback. So it'd be interesting to see what he could bring to the passing game and the run game to be a complement there. Also, he was a receivers coach, so he knows our team pretty well. He knows the personnel. And again, he would be new to play calling, but it would be awesome to see what he could potentially do in this role. So that is someone to definitely consider. I think he will get another interview. He interviewed for the job last year. So definitely keep his name on your radar as well. Next internal candidate to look at is Brian McLendon. I really like what he brought to this team. Coming from the college level, he has 17 years of coaching experience. He's been, I think he was an interim head coach at one point. So he's been in a lot of different roles. He's a very good receivers coach. I thought he did a very good job with like Jalen McMillan, the way he progressed, very detail oriented. So he would be a name to definitely consider. I think he would be um, probably a really good coach. I think he has good leadership skills and the ability to build a staff. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on him as far as internally. And then now the external candidates that I would like us to see go after Antoine Randall from Detroit. He was with the Buccaneers for a little bit as an assistant during our Super Bowl year. He's been with the Lions ever since. And again, he's learned under a lot of different coaches, obviously working with Dan Campbell, working with Ben Johnson, who just got a head coaching job. So there's some good background there. And obviously bringing some of that offense that Detroit ran, I think that would be a lot of fun, for the Buccaneers offense and their personnel and what they have. I think that would be cool for Baker Mayfield to explore. So definitely a name to watch. I think the Buccaneers interviewed him last year as well. So definitely intriguing. The next one, Keenan McCardell with the Minnesota Vikings. Buccaneers fans know this name. He was the Buccaneers Super Bowl receiver back in 2002 with Keyshawn Johnson, help us win a championship. He's been uh, with the Vikings the last 4 years and has done a really good job with their receiver group as well. So I think, and again, he interviewed with the team back in 2023 before the Buccaneers hired Dave Canales. So definitely could be back for another interview, and it would be interesting to see what type of staff he could bring along and what type of offense. It'd probably be very similar to what the Vikings run, and that's similar to our offense as well. So I think this is a very good name to keep an eye on. And then lastly, Jake Peets. I think Jake is, again, he worked with the Rams. He brings that type of offense back to the Buccaneers. So it'd be a very similar style of what the Buccaneers have run. He's worked with Baker Mayfield. And again, he's from Nebraska. He went to Nebraska for college. So there's a relationship probably already established with Jason Light there. At least they have a connection. But I think he would be fun. He has college experience, he has NFL experience, and I think his ability to call plays would definitely be something to look at. And so these are just a few names. Again, I think Josh Gizzard is probably the leader in the clubhouse just because of his familiarity, his background. Again, young offensive coach, has good ideas, could be one of the lead guys to look at. But all these names, I think, could be very strong candidates for the Buccaneers for their offense coordinator search. And we'll just have to see. But this video was just purpose to give you guys some ideas to look at, to do some research. And again, once we get into the next couple of weeks, I'm sure we'll have names to go over and really analyze and study it from that standpoint. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts. And with that said, until the next one.